We have the story from the New York Post. Ex-ESPN host reveals every single question in Biden interview was scripted by network executives. Sage Steele revealed that her interview with Biden shortly after he took office in March 2021 was scripted by executives at the Disney-owned network. Steele, who was sidelined by ESPN later that year after she criticized the company's COVID vaccine mandate and made controversial comments about the former President Barack Obama, told Fox News that she was beholden to a structured interview. It was very much, this is what you will ask, this is how you will say it, no follow-ups, next. Steele told Fox, adding that each question was gone over dozens of times by many editors and executives. My friends, you are quite literally living in a weekend at Bernie's style presidency government. Joe Biden, okay, he may not be deceased, but he is so close to it, he can see through the veil. And you've got people telling someone's going to Disney and saying, you will say these questions. The whole thing will be scripted. It's performative. Remember when Biden was in the fake White House? They kept having him on the sound stage.
Yes. Yeah. All throughout like the beginning of his presidency, he would go to a different set and everyone acted like it was normal.
He wasn't actually in the White House. He was on a set, a sound stage.
So it looked like the White House. Like it could have at least looked cool, like a set. Would have been fine.
So weird.
Yeah, but I mean, I believe in back to the press briefing, I don't believe Karine Jean-Pierre called on a reporter beyond the fourth row today.
Really? Is that?
And that's a normal occurrence. Very, very normal occurrence.
How many reporters get in there and then how many get called on?
I don't know how many get in there. All I can speak to is our chief White House correspondent, Monica Page, has not been called on once since she's moved out here. She's been here for about 10 months or so.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
There's no cycling. People don't get moved to the front every week. You don't get your week up front or any of that.
No. Yeah, I don't believe we've gotten a single question in a press briefing since the Biden administration took over.
And I got to be honest, as much as we like Ducey asking these questions, I don't think Fox News is fairly legit. They got some good people. Gutfeld, I mentioned, he's pretty great. But Fox News has had some questionable reporting as well. Everybody knows. So
the way they fired Tucker kind of...
No, that's exactly it.
Made me think.
And so when it comes to Ducey, the White House tolerates these questions, and they're questions that they can give some answer to. And then they throw red meat to conservatives and to anti-establishment people, and then what?
I mean, he's the best controlled opposition we have in the White House press room, I think.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. I mean, that's the impression that I get when I see his questions.
Controlled
It's just like, okay, where is this really going to take us?
Because he really cares too, and he's just strangled, not literally strangled. He's controlled. He's cuffed basically. I was picturing like bindings on his arms, and he's like, I can only ask so much, or you're going to throw me out, and I know it.
Of course, he can't deviate. He can ask the run-of-the-mill scripted talking point, and he can't go beyond it. I mean, there's 1,000,001 questions you could ask that'll get you thrown out of that room.
Well, it's funny, too, because occasionally he'll depart from Marine One, which is, the helicopter, and there's always videos of him kind of doing the Biden shuffle,
We're talking about Joe.
Yeah,
Joe.
the jogging Joe. He's moving with vigor, He's healthy, he's young, he's with it, he's mentally fit. I mean, the Wall Street Journal poll that I referenced earlier, it showed that voters in swing states believe that Trump is a massive lead when it comes to cognitive fitness and physical fitness. Obviously, I mean, you mentioned weekend of Bernie's, weekend of Biden's.
It's kind of wild, too, because Trump's a big dude.
Big dude.
He's a big dude. He's tall, but he's kind of thick, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He has lost weight, though. I got to give him credit.
He has, yeah. And, I've never seen a dude with the energy that man has.
It is pretty crazy.
It is crazy.
He doesn't drink, though.
No, he doesn't.
Mm-hmm. No drinking, no drugs, but a lot of fast food, I hear.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who doesn't like a Big Mac every now and then?
I don't. I mean, I'll be real. Fast food tastes great, but I will not go anywhere near it.
Yeah.
That'll make you feel good the next day.
I'm going full Luke Rutkowski, but real Luke Rutkowski.
Yeah, no seed oils.
That's where I don't eat seed oils, but not only do I say I don't, but I actually don't.
Yep.
Whereas Luke will say he doesn't and then sneak a Big Mac.
Oh, of course. A little cheat day.
Right now, I can tell. He's like, I do not, you son of a bitch.
No. He was in the green room and he was hiding his Big Mac.
Oh, my.
Gross.
Busted.
Tell me you didn't eat the bread.
No, underneath the table. Okay, but in all seriousness,
He's pretty good.
I think having a Big Mac every now and then, you
gotta treat yourself.
Exactly, you cheat sometimes.
As long as you can control it and have one, because that candida, which lives off of sugar, that will try and control you to eat more of it. You gotta be real careful.
Really, it's not even the Big Mac; it's their special sauce, Mac sauce.
Well, you were mentioning earlier this week, and one of your shows earlier this week, Tim, we were talking about depression, especially among younger people, and you brought up a good point. You mentioned just get your butt in the gym. You start sweating, start
Well, I mean-
moving cardio, start lifting weights. It's a natural way to feel better about yourself and boost your self-esteem. And eating healthy is such a big part of that too.
It's not even the gym. I mean, just like go for a walk, 15 minutes. If you don't do any exercise, just start walking for 10, 15 minutes a day.
The eating
Walk
healthy is
around the block.
awesome because it doesn't hurt. It stops hurting as much and it starts to feel good. Like you can tell you're not like you only got sugar in your body. Like, there's just it feels like stuff's going to snap more likely. I don't know. I feel much more like put together on a good diet.
Yeah, you naturally have more energy. You naturally feel better about yourself. And you said just going for a walk. You eat a big dinner. Nothing feels better than getting off the couch, going outside, getting some fresh air, and walking for like half a mile.
You know-
it moves the digestive system. Gets everything going.
But bringing it back to Trump, this comes back to here's a guy, and a lot of people were surprised to see like when he started this when he kicked off the 2024 campaign, he looked thin. There was that one photo, everyone's like, wow, but he still is a big dude. But let's talk about this. Joe Biden does the shuffle you mentioned, where you watch him, he tries to walk like he's capable of walking. The dude must be in agony. Just sheer agony because he's walking like his leg is broken and he's trying to act. You ever see a cat get injured? Cats pretend like they're not injured because in the wild, it's like an instinct thing where they don't want any predator to see them weak. So even when they're injured, they're walking, but like in extreme pain. That's what Biden looks like. Trump looks fine. There's like a video of him bouncing a golf ball and he's like playing golf.
This says, according to his August 25th, 2023 surrender to the Fulton County Jail, he's 6'3" and 215 pounds.
There's
Which is nearly 30 pounds. It says it's 30 pounds lighter than his disclosed weight at the time of his last official White House physical.
There's no way he's 215. But
He doesn't look 215.
No, he's tall. How tall is he? Like
About
6'3"?
You said 6'3"?
6'3".
Yeah. Wow.
6'3" alone is going to
He
put you
towers
at
over
200.
me. I'm 5'9".
Yeah. Trump being 6'3" is going to put him at 200 already. And then he's kind of a bigger dude. So 215, no way.
I could
But I
see
mean,
it.
like 230?
He's in pro
I
athlete
don't know.
shape.
Yeah. I love when the Trump supporters make the comics of him and he's always ripped.
Oh yeah, got one hung up in my parents' house. Him with the boxing gloves on.
Right.
I think the Trump campaign is actually selling merchandise. A big thing that he did in Wisconsin last night is he actually brought up a podium to his right, and he starts off. He's like, "You might notice there's a podium to my right and it's empty. That's for Joe Biden. I'm trying to get him to debate. Nobody knows where he is. Wow. Anybody, any place, any time." Trump would run laps around this guy mentally, physically, from a policy perspective. So that's a big thing. And I believe the Trump campaign is actually beginning to sell some merchandise that espouses this as well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Can you imagine just like what they're going to be saying about this era in 100 years? They're going to be like, Trump supporters waved these flags, and it's Trump on a velociraptor with a machine gun.
But Donald Trump, we all remember, and it'll be like him super ripped, and everybody will have the memory of him being just physically fit.
There's
in his old
something
age.
happened to humanity where the sense of humor just went off the charts in the 1900s. Like, what was humor 100 years ago? Puns 200 years ago? Very simple. Now it's like Donald Trump won and saved the republic, and here's how the supporters celebrate. And they show, like, you go to a museum and there's like Trump with boxing gloves all
Like a
ripped.
picture of Pepe with Trump's hair, like just a green frog head.
And we're laughing about it. It's kind of crazy because like we get left behind these great quotes from the founding fathers and like Blackstone's formulation. And then Benjamin Franklin says, no, it should be that 100 guilty persons escape. It is better that 100 guilty persons escape than one innocent person suffer. And we're like, wow, thought provoking, brilliant. I'm going to post a meme of Trump fighting squirrels. And that's what our generation's doing.
It makes me feel like the ship is sinking and people are just looting it with comedy memes. It's sad. It really disturbs me. And this is deep down. I think about this quite a lot. Is like, why are we not like the founding fathers? Why are we not building a constitution for the internet? We have the Manila Principles. We can pivot off of that thing and build some globally. We can do it. But why have I not? Why have I just played video games and made fun of stuff?
Because we are chickens and they have put us in a chicken coop.
It feels like that. I'll write it. I'll be like, hello, humanity. Here's the answer. Use it. And they'll be like, we've got other money to make right now. And then maybe in 70 or 80 years, they'll be like, what did we do wrong? And they'll go through the files and be like, oh, this was what we should have done. Maybe.
This was a big mess up. This was a big mess up.
Think about what wild dogs are like. No, a wolf. You see a pack of wolves out in the wilderness, you're in trouble. They're going to be independent. They're on their own. They're hunting. They know what they're doing. And they're not going to take orders from you. Now look at dogs. Doofy little man's best friend. Dog runs up to you, doesn't even know who you are, and he loves you. So it is, in essence, a political domestication. You create this system where you infantilize, you strip them of the generational knowledge, so parents aren't passing down anything to their kids anymore. Kids are being taken from the parents and put in institutions. They're not learning what the parents have to offer them, and they're effectively becoming puppy dogs for the state. It is a, you know, I read this thing once about the domestication of dogs, and it's really fascinating how it happened. Basically, the humans who, there's something called flight time. This is the distance between a human and an animal where the animal will flee. Wolves that had a lower flight time were more likely to survive because human refuse, they could eat the human refuse, the waste from the tribes in the camps. Humans that had a lower flight time for the wolves were more likely to survive because the wolves pissing around the camps would keep other predators away. So it created a pressure system where there were lower instances of humans fighting with wild animals or encountering hungry bears and even wolves because it would keep other wolves away. And for the wolves, they had a higher supply of food. Eventually, over thousands of years, you end up with humans and wolves working together, which you get proto-dogs, pre-dogs. And then the humans realized these wolves are tracking some animal. The humans had tools that could take it down super quick. Everybody got to eat. Success. What I was reading about this was that effectively what humans had done was turned the wolves into permanent puppies. The way dogs act is the way wolf cubs act. They're playful, they're silly, they're loving, they're doofy. Then they grow up, get older, and become tough and more resolved, and they have to survive. It's more difficult. Dogs never do. Dogs remain effectively as wolf cubs their whole lives, doofy and happy because you take care of them forever. That's effectively what's happening to us. Infantilized, dependent on the state, cut from our roots, cut from our moral traditions, and now you have wokeness, which is the purest form of that. The state knows all, the state does all, you must adhere to the state, do not defy our edict.
And then you'll get like domesticated dog packs in countries where there's too many dogs and they roam the streets in Chile. You'll see that stuff. So that would be like the domesticated forming up to form their little posses.
Those are the people who used to be woke and then broke free.
Oh, welcome back to the fold, Chris Carr.
But you know, as it may not be nearly as extreme, but take a look at the past couple generations, starting around the times of the boomers we were talking about a couple days ago. It used to be that dad taught his son, mom taught the daughter. Then you get institutionalized learning facilities, and the parents are like, "I'm going to work, have fun at school, son," and this creates the era of "I hate you, dad." So we were talking with Nick Freitas about this last night. I said, you know, I'll be talking to my friends and they have kids, and I'm like, "Are you excited for the I hate you, dad, or I hate you, mom phase?" And he was like, "We didn't have that." And I was like, and that's exactly why I asked. Because you don't seem like the kind of guy who would. Because someone who actually raises their family with strong moral traditions is not likely to have a child hate them. But if you take your kid and you put them in an institutionalized learning facility where you have removed yourself from their life, they don't look up to you, you're not an authority figure to them, yeah, they're going to be like, "Screw you, I hate you, dad," and they're going to go run off. Whereas what it used to be is the kid would be like, "Dad, I need help. There's a bear out back," and he'd be like, grab the musket," and they'd go, like, these kinds of things certainly have happened. It's not like it's impossible, but I'm saying we've dramatically increased the likelihood. We've normalized the practice of children attacking their parents. I mean, look at the 10 Commandments. Honor thy father and thy mother. That's been totally severed from the system. Now people are becoming dependent on the state. I got to tell you another quick one before we go to the next segment. I once hired somebody, college graduate, never had a job. They were completely dependent and useless. And I was shocked by this. And what I discovered after talking to my buddy who owned a business is kids who go to college, their parents aren't around all the time. They then go to school where the teacher tells them what to do. Go to high school, teacher tells them what to do. Go to college, professor tells them what to do, and they do it. They've never solved a problem on their own. I mean, certainly to a certain degree they have, but not like a regular human who grew up on their own. Now they're in their mid-20s, they get a job and they go, "I have no idea what to do. I've always just been told what to do." And
They've never learned any functional skills or anything.
Critical thinking.
No critical thinking, no adversity, no overcoming obstacles, none of that. They're completely dependent, and as soon as they're put in an uncomfortable situation, they revert back to, "I want comfort."
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.